Well, they need to know that Muslims believe that the Prophet Muhammad received revelations directly from the angel Gabriel. That was the direct and literal word of God, and that later on was written down in the book we now know as the Quran. And that Muslims feel that they should always be faithful to the Quran because that is the direct word of God. However, the Quran doesn't have all the answers, doesn't address all the situations. So we have, next to the Quran, we have the Prophet Muhammad, his life. What did he do? What did he say? How did he dress? What did he eat? All that matters in shaping your life, imagining your life as a good Muslim. And that what he did and said is all collected in a collection called Hadith, the tradition. There are two big ones, Bukhari and Muslim. This is the Hadith. All the Prophet Muhammad said and did is there. Like Christians say, what would Jesus do? What would Muhammad do? And because he became such an important example, he also became someone that that is considered very holy and untouchable in the mind of many Muslims. And it hurts when he's being attacked. And some Muslims then hit back, as we know now from what we've heard in the news about the Charlie Hebdo, the French cartoon affair, when French cartoonists in Paris were attacked this year in January 2015 because they had painted derogatory paintings or cartoons about the Prophet. They had insulted the Prophet, and by extension everybody who felt insulted who was a Muslim. But so it is connected with, this was the vessel for this holy word. This holy word was the direct word of God. That is what we base our lives on. I think that's very important to know. The second thing that is very important to know is what I brought up with the women, is that nothing is hard and fast. Some things are hard and fast, like that you should fast during Ramadan, and that you should pay your tithing, that you should pray 5 times a day, but if need be, you can make it 3, you can collapse certain prayers if you don't have time or you're traveling. There are certain things that are set, that you believe in God and that you believe that Muhammad is his prophet. But the Quran, like many books, many religious books, as the Bible, the Old Testament, the Torah, the New Testament, the Hindu scriptures, there's much unclarity in many of the texts. And so what people often follow is not the text itself, but the interpretation of the text by a certain scholar. And this scholar could have lived in the 8th or 9th century. Some people want to follow scholars from the Middle Ages. That is one of the things that we do not quite understand. If you are a Christian, and many of our students are Christians, you don't realize that what we believe today is based on a very long tradition of interpretation. And many battles were fought. We know the battle of the Reformation. We know battles between groups among themselves. Churches still today, churches break off from each other and pastors go and walk away and launch something new because their interpretation differs. It's very much the same in Islam. You have many groups, many types of interpretations, and as the world becomes more complex, the questions become more complex. And so Muslims have to address these questions just as all of us have to address them. And the answers are not always quite, clear-cut. Although groups like ISIS or ISIL like you to think they're clear-cut, they're not. It is very complex. And so in the end, it is your individual conscience, your individual responsibility as a Muslim to decide how you live your faith, how you follow your faith. As long as you stay in the parameters of the 5 pillars